All right, guys. Well, it's one of those deals where I've been sick all week and I wanted to get this stuff from the hunting cabin up in the woods done. And so that wasn't a very successful hunt when it comes to killing deer, anyway. No big bucks this year so far. Uh, we've seen a few, haven't had any good shots at many. Uh, but I still did a little bit of videoing up there, and I want to show you what we've got on the webcams and stuff. So I put this little video together and kind of chopped it all together so that at least I'd have an opportunity to practice editing and stuff like that. I hope you enjoy it. I didn't think that I would, and I started putting it together, and it ended up being a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Well, okay. Here we are. This is what we call the hog stand. It has nothing to do with hogs. Where it originally came from, we were hunting over some hogs there. It's forever been known now as the hog stand. This is one of our fields. It's about 35 acres. Nice grass. Old home place up here to our right. Pretty place. We've had a lot of activity here, a lot of does, which we're going to have to take a couple out, but not this week. We'll do that next week. We've got some does that are probably, we're guessing just from the looks of them, they're 6 or 7 years old. They are big old does. You can just see it in them. But we've got a couple of 8 points. And what we think is a 4.5-year-old 7-point. Working this area right here. He's been here the last 2 nights. Me and my boy Greg, I'm on the upper putty, he's on the lower stand. He's probably, as the crow flies, he's probably 1,000 yards from me. But this buck, he'll show up here once, and then he'll show up down there. He'll go to both places nearly every day. And it's usually after shooting light. But what we're hoping is that he'll screw up and he'll show up during legal hours. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. I'm kind of set up. We're going to try to self-video this. We'll see how this works. I got you on the GoPro right here, and I'm going to set up my phone in a little bit and put the lens on it and see if I can zoom in. This will be fun. Here we go. Well, boys and girls, it is that time. It's about 5 o'clock. The sun's starting to come down. It's starting to get a little dark. Maybe you'll see me again in a minute. Maybe not. It's been a really nice hunt. Even though we ain't seen no deer yet. Still, it's nice out here. I'll let you know what happens. Okay, here we go again. Today we're up on High Tower. Beautiful place, one of my favorite stands. This one, the reason it's called High Tower is because my feet are a little bit over 16 feet off the ground. Nice shooting house. I got a creek behind me. Creates a little bit of noise, but it's just this is a good crossing point. The green field, which I'll give you a show of it in a minute. It is just gorgeous. It always has been. Me and Greg take good care of this one. There's a feeder here. Back behind us, there's hundreds of acres of just locked up land. We've got 40 acres of lease land back there that we don't hardly ever touch. We just keep it leased up just to keep everybody off of it. To the south of us here, Greg's uncle owns all that, and nobody hunts it. And past that, we know the guys that hunt over there. So we're all on a pretty tight regiment, management regiment here. We don't so much care what the deer scores as we care how old they are. We're really trying to shoot 4.5 plus deer. We've taken multiple 5.5s. We've taken a 7.5 off of here. We're just looking for mature deer. So that makes it a lot of fun for us. We do manage our does as well. We'll probably take 4 or 5 does a year, and we try to keep them 7 or 8 years old. We only take mature deer, and we only take deer that are in a group of does. Now that's going to cause some controversy with a lot of folks, but let me tell you why. When you get a lone doe walking in, generally speaking, what that means is that she has had a buck, and that button buck or spike or whatever has been kicked off of her, and now she's alone and she hasn't come back to a group yet. When you get a group of 4 or 5, whatever, last night I had a group of 13 come in on you, and they're all does, and there's obviously a matriarch, you know that those does are having does, and you know that other doe is having bucks. Now, the big misconception is that the buck figures all this out, and he doesn't. A buck will give his genes, so he may determine the quality of the rack. But now the doe, she decides whether that's going to be a male or a female. And so we don't shoot. If we know that there's a lone doe, we won't shoot that deer at all. Matter of fact, we've got back on the big field, one of our favorite hunting places, we've got a doe over there that kicks off button bucks every year. And we might shoot you if you shot it. That's one of our most prized possessions here. She always throws good bucks. But that's kind of where we're at. That's where we stand. We enjoy, I think, managing these deer as much as we enjoy taking a deer. But now when you lay down a 7.5-year-old, buddy, that's something special. There's lots of people that never even shoot a 3-year-old, much less a 5, 6, or 7. So that's kind of where we're at. That's what we're doing. We're right before the rut here. It's November the 22nd, and this has been the weirdest year. Usually they rut around the 14th, and they have not rutted this year. Well, I shouldn't say they haven't. We will every once in a while see a doe that we think's hot, and every once in a while we'll see a buck that we think is rutting. But Greg and me both, we've been watching these deer, and they just are not showing rut signs. Their hocks aren't even wet. We saw one that had been killed here last week, and its hocks didn't even stink. I mean, it was a 4.5-year-old deer. So I think we got a real good chance here. We've seen a deer we call crab claw here, and there's also what we think is either a 3.5 or a 4.5-year-old coal buck that is just a 7-point. Or we think it's 7. We're not even sure it's got eye guards. But now, if I see him tonight, and especially if he doesn't have eye guards, we'll have to introduce ourselves to him. But otherwise, we're sitting around waiting on crab claw, or waiting on a couple of the big white 8s that are in this general area. So that's what's going on today. I want to give you a shot of the field here. A couple of days ago, I got a little bit of video of a bunch of turkeys out here. I'll throw that in and let you check all that out. Otherwise, I'll see you after a while. At least I hope so. This is about the third or fourth one of these I've made this week, and I haven't got to come back yet. So today I'm hoping is the day. We'll see you guys in a little bit.